man. Big Swag is in the building. How you doing today, bro?
Man, what's up, man? I'm finally here.
It's so funny because when you came in and sat down, I was like, bro, you reminded me of RJ for some reason. And then I was texting RJ at the same time. He knew you were here. What's your relationship with RJ Lamont, man?
Man, it's crazy because, man, RJ Lamont is like my brother. And also Ant Beats is my brother, too. So it's like, we're like literally like real brothers. Like we talk every day. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going somewhere, those are two people that I'm probably invite. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and it be past music, though. Like, I don't be in the studio thinking like, oh, man, I'm here waiting on a beat or something. Like, they're not producers in my eyes.
Yeah.
They're my friends. You know what I'm saying?
And for people who don't know who RJ Lamont is and Ant Beats, they are literally the hit makers of Detroit. They literally produce so many legendary beats and sounds for Detroit artists. And those
the ones that make it about this bitch, too.
Ooh, man, they're on the billboards everywhere, man. How many songs do you have collectively with RJ and Ant?
Ooh. Sometimes I just be at RJ crib sometimes and he'll make a beat or something and I'll just rap on it or something. You know what I'm saying? So we got plenty of songs, but like now I'm just getting to the point where I'm starting to organize it more so where I can start putting out projects and really get, you know what I'm saying, a good run with the music now, you know what I'm saying? Because I got all the connections, I got, you know, the best talent. So I feel like, you know, it's time for me to stop wasting my own time.
Yeah, man. I mean, we were also talking about Helluva a second ago.
Yeah, that's my bro too, man. He like the big bro. You feel what I'm saying?
Helluva,
yeah.
So think about it. You got literally three of the biggest producers in Detroit rocking with you. Got Helluva, RJ Lamont, and talk about your relationship with Helluva too, man.
Oh, man. You know what's crazy? I've been knowing Helluva for a long time, but we got close because of how close I was with Ant Beats or whatever. And so our relationship kind of like, you know, passed on to each other because we got mutual feelings about the same shit. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's really cool.
Yeah, but Helluva is one of the realest, man. It's like, I can't even talk about on the podcast like how real this nigga is. Like,
he's too real, man.
Yeah, he's super real. Like
He's
for sure.
real.
Like he'd have been through there for me more than like I can say a family member has. And like I don't even talk to him every day as much as I talk to a lot of motherfuckers. But that nigga, he come through.
Helluva is he's so real that it's hard to even like say anything off to him because I've had him on the podcast a couple times and I'm just like trying to ask him something and he's like so real with it. It's like he doesn't even think twice.
Yeah, he might got a good ass publicist too.
Maybe that's what it is. Talk about yourself a little bit, man. Are you from Detroit?
Yeah, I'm from Detroit, but when I was young, my peoples, they from the South and they still got the land out in Alabama, like farm with cows and you know what I'm saying. So I was getting into trouble here as a kid and I got sent down there. So I got a little country swag, you know what I'm saying?
That's cool, man. So how long were you in Detroit before you went to Alabama?
Well, when I was first born, they took me down there, but then when I became like, you know, 6, 7 years old, I moved back to Detroit. And by the time I got like 12, like between 11 and 12, I was getting into trouble, little kid trouble. So my mom was like, let me send this nigga to the country, you know what I'm saying, go, you know, deal with that country shit.
You were just doing some bullshit, or were you
man, I was all about the money, man. Like, I started, like, selling stuff when I was 11 years old. Like, my daddy used to hide his pagers in the ceiling, and he used to buy them all the time. So I used to go down there and take them and sell them to the dope boys around the corner. You feel what I'm saying? Making bank rolls, you feel me? So I was just like, boy, you into the wrong shit already, you feel me? But they liked it, the hustle. They just didn't like the fact that I was doing it in the street.
Hold on, man. We're talking about pagers right now?
Back in the day, man. Like, I was a kid. Like, you know what I'm saying?
How much were pagers going for back in the day?
I was selling it for like $80 or something like that, but I was like a kid, like ice cream truck money type shit. You feel me?
So you were trying to be a young hustler, man. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You're stealing from your pops to make money, man. Hey, listen,
It
man.
was a way, but he wasn't using them. I was like, man,
all right, I'll admit it, man. When I used to work for my pop's liquor store, he didn't pay me, and I'd be working 14-hour days.
Bro, I worked at my pop's liquor store too. He never paid me and told me it was for us to have a good home and all this kind of shit. I'm like, bro, what? That's why I started doing all the crazy shit.
I used to steal money from the lottery machine, which is crazy because that's the number
That's what
one.
they track.
Yeah,
the lottery, they know the lottery. You got to go for the candy and like the Fago and shit.
I used to take $20 out. I don't know how they never figured me out because it's like they track that money. Yeah. So I was like, damn, I'm stealing this $20. They never figured it out. But bro, I'm sorry, pops, man. I was broke.
Sorry, pops. But this is the future. But look, check this out. Did you used to hate when Fago come? Yeah. And you gotta do the bottle count?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Or in the cooler work?
Bro, anytime they used to come, I used to be like, please, especially in the wintertime, bro. Yeah. It was cold as hell.
I hated that shit.
Bro, yeah. And then I remember I used to stock the liquor. I used to be stocking the beer bottles and everything, and customers used to open the door.
Open the door.
You know what's crazy, bro? So we had bulletproof windows and we had 2 security locks to get to the back. But for real, if you went through the beer side, you could go straight through that bitch and you could get to the back. Hey man, we can't be telling no secrets. You could have robbed me right there, bro. Nobody knew that shit.
Nobody thought about coming through the freezer.
The walk-in cooler, yeah. You could have just came in and robbed everybody.
Yeah, because most stores had that opening through the alley where you can come right in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like the stock room and shit.
How long did you work at the liquor store for?
Man, my pops always, when I was a kid, he started off as he had phone stores. You know what I'm saying? So I started off selling phones when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? He took me to show me how he did it. I was like 13 years old, and I was the phone man in school. And then my friends, they was burning them out for me. So I would get the phone from him, and then I'd take it to my friends. I knew they was cowdy. You feel what I'm saying? They'd burn it out for me. Then I'd sell it for double what it was paying for.
Brilliant.
You know what I'm saying? So after that phase, we got into the liquor store business. Like right after that, on 7 Mile in Southfield, it was called Pick and Pay. That's where I began like really becoming a man.
I wonder if you know my pops' liquor store. It was called Brand's Party Shop. It was on what?
I bet you my pops and your pops used to definitely dibble and dabble.
It was on McNichols, man. By Outer Drive. But what happened? So you're working a lot, obviously. Did you end up going to school? Like, what'd you end up doing?
Okay, so that's the crazy thing. So I left school when I was 15 and went to college. I left at 13, 14, like that, something like that. But I went to college when I was 15 because I started doing the homeschool thing, whatever, and I was like super smart as hell. So I went straight through that shit, and I went and took the test, and they let me into college. You feel me? So my thing, what I was supposed to do, I was supposed to go from college straight to the store, and then back home, my pops. You feel me? But me, school was boring, bro. You know what I'm saying? I was making more money at the high school, you feel what I'm saying, than being in college. So it was like, I'm paying these people to go to school, but I got people at high school calling me like, hey, bro, I need one of them Sprint phones that I heard you got. You feel me? So I stayed out. And I really probably could have graduated when I was like 18, like something.
So you actually were like a honorary student, but you just didn't give a fuck about school.
Yeah, I was smart as hell, but I just didn't really. I felt I was wasting time when I was in class. Like I had this real, like on the inside of me, it used to be so hot. Like I just be feeling like, can I go to the bathroom? Can I go to the bathroom? Or I try to hurry up and go through my work real fast. You know what I'm saying? Turn it in like, oh, can I go to the bathroom now? Type of shit. Just so I can be out and moving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because the factory setting of schools and the way that they output people isn't the same for. It shouldn't be the same for everybody. Like if you're an entrepreneurial mindset, you might not want to sit there and learn about history.
You want to know what the first thing I got suspended for?
What?
Being an entrepreneur.
You were selling shit.
Yeah, they came and got me out of school when they was walking me down to the hallway before they called my parents. They said, don't be an entrepreneur before you graduate. I was like, what? And at that point, I never took school serious. I'm not saying nothing against school. Like, it's for some people, but don't be going to school for nothing. Like, it's people right now just going just to say they in school. You know what I'm saying? I know people right now that be flexing like, I'm in school. Like, are you learning something that you're going to use?
Think about it. There's 1,000 people going through the same exact system, but every single person is different. So how can 1,000 people be going through the same curriculum when one might be a creative, one might be an entrepreneur, one might want to be a chef, and they're learning stuff that they don't have to learn, and they're spending hours and hours of their time learning something that doesn't provide anything for them. That's the problem with school systems. So for you learn this, you get out of school. What are you doing after that?
What are you doing after that? And I see that all the time. It's like, come work for me then. I use that degree. You know what I'm saying? I did that because you think about it like, at your time of the day, if a nigga paying you, I don't want to say a nigga, if a company paying you $20 an hour, right? I would pay you $20 an hour to do that too for me. You feel what I'm saying? If I can get 100 of you, that'll make me a whole lot of money. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like we can really learn what we're going to use to work for ourselves. You feel what I'm saying?
How'd you use that mindset for yourself after school?
I was born with it somehow because I told you I've been doing this since I was a kid. Like I've never had a job in my whole life. You feel the closest I had to a job was working for my pops in the stores. But I was leaving there. I was sneaking out the house to go try to make money. You know what I'm saying? Like it was stuff I was doing that I didn't have to do, but I felt I had to do it because you know what I'm saying. I wanted more out of life. You feel me? Just going to work with my pops at the store and coming home and going to school. Like to me, I'm thinking like, nah, man. Like,
you knew you were bigger than that.
I knew I was bigger than that. Yeah.
Talk about your first steps. Was music incorporated around the same time, or was entrepreneurship the first thing?
Entrepreneurship was first, but music was the same because I used to go to church and play the drums. Like I used to love going to church to play the drums. Like that was my thing as a kid. Like I was 9 years old, and I was a little kid. Everybody used to come to church to see play the drums. Like wow, this little nigga. You feel me? And then the organ player, he used to be making up music in the background, like while the preacher preaching, and I'd be doing a little beat to it. And then after church, I'd be telling him like, man, you should let me put something over that. You feel me? He would never let me do it. So I used to go take my mama's tape recorder, and I would go rap over other people's music at the end when they get done. So when a nigga like a Jay-Z song go off or something, I'll be at the end of that shit rapping.
That's legendary.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta do a quick mic adjustment real quick, Nick.
Oh, yeah.
You know, okay, we're back on. We're talking about you were in church, you were playing the drums.
Yeah, I used to love doing that.
Oh yeah.
My bad, bro. I feel like I just made it all worse.
Dog, lighters never work in this bitch.
You know what's crazy? When it dropped, it feel like it blew up.
Yeah, that's right. It's not like it snapped in that bitch. So we're talking about you get out of school. You're not worrying about school no more. What was your first? Did you have like a professional business at any point? Did you start off with anything professional?
So after the phone thing had died down, because it was right before iPhones had just starting to get hot. You know what I'm saying? So when iPhones came, that kind of like took over like the. You know what I'm saying? The phase where you can just buy any kind of phone and sell it and burn it out type shit. So once that happened, my first business was a power washer company at this time. I had, my pops, he had got a contract where he had people going out cleaning McDonald's when they closed. But he stopped doing it and he had all the shit in the garage. So at this time, I bought my first car when I was like 13. But by this time, I'm like 16, 17.
What are you doing with a car at 13?
So I was supposed to go from school to the store and back home.
Did you have like a special license, or did you just do it without a license?
See, down in the South, in the country, we started driving when we were young. So my parents knew that. They came down the country to visit me. And like, this nigga driving around, you feel what I'm saying? So when I got back home, they wouldn't let me drive. But every day I would come home like, I promise you, if I was driving and you let me buy a car, I would be such a good student in school. I would come work at the store as many hours as I need to. I would read books. I was just telling my parents that I would be the greatest kid ever. You feel me? And one day they just was out. I had $2,000. We was riding past a Cutlass Supreme. And 15 miles out here. We was out here, bro, like right down the street. It was parked outside and it had a number on it. We called it, cashed that bitch out. I've been out here ever since.
So you're doing the power washing company. That's your first entrepreneur business.
Yeah.
When did you get into music?
Before that, so what happened was I had went to Mexico with my parents because they had some friends that had like owned some type of resort shit going down there or whatever. So they was going down there with the whole family went, and I had gotten into a crazy jet ski accident. Feel me? And they thought I was dead or whatever.
Whoa.
Yeah. So they had to fly me back here, and I had to stay in the hospital for months and months. Feel me? After surgeries and surgery after surgery after surgery, and just laying on my back that whole time. Only thing I could hear was just melodies and shit. Feel me? And they was hitting me so much that when I got out the hospital and finally able to come home, the only thing I wanted to do was rap.
Wow.
And it wasn't even about money or nothing like that. It was just like getting this out.
Well, how the hell did the jet ski accident happen?
Man, it's the craziest story in the world, bro, because like the way it was set up, it was supposed to be, they had liners set up like little bitty boats, which is jet skis. Then over here is medium boats, and over here is big boats. So my mom, we asked, can I drive? Because, you know, I'm begging, like, Mama, let me drive. She's like, you can drive, I'm going to ride on your back. So we was following the guide or whatever, and he kind of took off, zoom, like going fast as hell. And so it just kind of left me and her in the middle of the river. So I'm like, she said, don't worry, baby, just pay attention, go that way, just keep going as you could do. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm like, Ma, look at that big old light right there. That shit looks sweet as hell. You feel me? She's like, don't look at that, just keep going. And before you know it, bro, I woke up a whole new person, like later. And then my pops told me that he jumped off the back of his and he had to swim down and get me, and the helicopter had to come down and pick me up,
God.
all type of shit. And they had to fly me into the hospital. But when I woke up, everything was bandaged up. You feel me? Like, I didn't know who I was at that point. You feel me? Until he showed me, like, bro, you in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm in Mexico. I'm like, quit playing. You know what I'm saying? So after that transformed me into like.
Did you guys like hit something or somebody hit you?
No, okay, I didn't tell you that part. So the big boat, he crossed. It was some crazy dude. I don't know what the fuck it was on to this day. It's kind of like, you remember that movie with 50 Cent where he always thought that Rick James cooked his daddy? No. Remember in Get Rich or Die Trying? You never seen it? Okay, that's fucked up. Don't tell your fans that you never seen that.
I was never a 50 Cent fan. I'm not gonna lie.
You ain't have to be. That was a good movie. But anyway, so the nigga, he drove over into the little boat section. So I was trying to dodge this nigga, but he put up this big ass wave that my mama, thank God, Lord have mercy, thank God, she slipped off the back of the jet ski and just kind of slipped in the water.
Yeah.
The jet ski flew in the air. Whew. I fell down, but the jet ski came back down on top of me.
Oh my God.
You feel me? So it was just blood all in the river. I'm just down the world. Man.
I would have thought you're gone for sure.
Could you imagine my pop's like a superhero? He just came swimming up with me though. Like I got him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then the helicopter come, and then they took me in.
So you wake up with a whole new.
Yeah, it took me a while to like, you know what I'm saying, to get back adjusted to like the fact it was just a weird feeling, like, you know.
They everything good?
Your pops ever hang that over your head? Like, remember that one time I said not fucked up?
No, man, that's crazy. Like my pops was actually like, he was a real deal superhero. Like he never got away here. I made my pop so mad growing up after that because I really turned into like another person for real. I ain't gonna lie.
They say that when people experience crazy accidents, more than likely their creative side or whatever, like they're more like freeness comes out of them, and they're like more willing to do things that other people aren't willing to do at that point.
Yeah.
So you just felt like an outer body kind of feeling, or like
it felt more like I was more against just being normal. Like I wanted to go all the way left with it because it was like I was stuck with being, you know what I'm saying, different already. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like it made me want to be like definitely more creative. And he didn't really understand that part because, you know, as I was raised, you know, like I said, I was in the stores and the different things, and we wasn't rich or nothing like that, but he had a dream or a future of me taking it to the next level and we being rich, you feel me? Because I actually was a smart kid, so I was a big investment to him too. Like, when he get older, I'm telling you, like this boy gonna be, you feel me? Then I come home with a bandana on, rapping, and, you know what I'm saying, all this crazy shit. You like, what the, like, that ain't what we talked about, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, I had a hard time with that with him because he liked me, so when I started doing that, it made him want to like pull back from me, kind of like he closed the store down, you know what I'm saying? He started being more into gambling. And it kind of disturbed our relationship because I was so different, you know. But then, as he got older, we started coming back around. He started calling me swag. You feel what I'm saying? He started bragging to his friends about my music and stuff like that. But he ended up passing, you know, before I can even get to the point where I can make some real accomplishments with it. But he seen me from the part when I was in my closet and he'd come in my room like, make all that noise in here, boy. Need to be getting to sleep so we can get up and go to the store in the morning. Like, I'm like, forget that store. I'm about to drop an album. You know what I'm saying? As a father, I could imagine your son telling you something like that is crazy. Like, you about to drop an album. Like, bro, you know what I just went through to get you from Mexico?
Man.
You know what I'm saying? To get you back here, you know what I mean? To even be walking again. You talking about dropping an album?
Right. That's the thing. It's like parents always want the safe route, right?
Yeah,
financially and everything like that. But if you have dreams that are just different and take longer, it's like you went for it, basically. You were like, fuck it, I'm doing it. I don't care about financial security at this point. I want to prove that I'm serious about my passion and the money will come, right?
Yep.
So what was your first days in the studio like? So first you're rapping in your bedroom, right? So you're making your own music.
Yeah.
Did you release any of that, and did you get reciprocation for any of that?
So honestly, the first time I got reciprocation from a song was when DJ BJ liked the song that me and Dre Butters and Sino had. And for back in that time, for me to be on a song with Sino was amazing. You feel me? Because I was coming from the, like, you know, like I don't have no music history, period. Like I'm not the person that, like, I know this person. Like I ain't grew up with niggas that was rapping for real.
How did you hit to hear your music the first time? You were DJ BJ played it somewhere?
So the original version I worked at was me, Sino, and Dre Butters. And I used to go to Dre Butters' crib when he first started. Like we was like a pint of Hennessy type shit. We sitting, you know what I'm saying, making beats, and I'm rapping over freestyling when they recording. But we had a song that just happened to be like sweet as hell. And at the time, my best friend, he was my first manager too, Rally Kev. He like, man, I'm about to send this shit to BJ. I already knew BJ because we kind of like, you know, knew each other coming up or whatever. But you feel me? Like not musically. So he ended up hitting back like, man, I like that shit. And he came and put his, you know what I'm saying, his effort in it. Then we had to work that game. You feel me? That's when we first started doing work that.
And so when you guys make this, what's the reciprocation like, and how are you hearing this back? Is social media as relevant at the time?
This Twitter days, you know what I'm saying? So at this time, it was like when you was on the radio, you was popping. You feel me?
So radio was the kind of
radio, and then when we did summer jams, we had a big crowd precipitation. You know what I'm saying? So I knew right then, like, damn, they fucking with this song. And people was calling me, booking me Like at a price, so it'd be like if you can come with BJ and Cino, we'll give you X number of dollars. But if it's just you, we can give you this too. Still, you still gotta do the song and blah blah blah. You feel me? And a lot of times, BJ, he was super booked at the time, so he wasn't able to really if nigga hit me up like, yo, bro, I want to get you, BJ, Cino, Butters, all y'all, blah blah. You feel what I'm saying? We wasn't never like an official group or nothing like that at that time, so it wasn't like we just all was available at the same time.
Yeah, it's like if Scoob and like fucking Pac-Man. It's like if you can bring Pac-Man to bring for Joe Exotic, then we got you. If
yeah,
not,
it
we
was
still
just
got
like
you.
that. Yeah, and we get that lighter again too. But yeah, so at that time, you know what I'm saying, it was like, I was going up with myself.
I'm about to toss that lighter. Let's see if we can actually make the. Yeah, there we go.
I ain't even try to catch it because it's like shit. I didn't want to look dumb trying. For real. But y'all remember one time though I got booked and I had BJ I'm like, hey bro, it's Saturday so and so at Deja Vu, blah blah. They paying X blah 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 blah. He like, man, I'm booked so I ain't gonna make it, right? So I'm like, fuck. So I go, just me and my niggas and shit. I'm on stage performing. The crowd going doing their shit or whatever. Next thing you know, I look at the crowd, I just see money coming from the door, just flying in the air, just as it like moving up. And next thing you know, I get closer, it's DJ BJ making it rain, walking through the door to the stage to grab the microphone.
Damn.
And he didn't even tell me he was coming. I was like, damn, this nigga flies hell.
Yeah. So how the hell did you not even know? That's crazy.
Didn't even know. I asked him, and he like, bro, I'm gonna have to do this and this and that. I'm like, all right, bro.
Yeah. That's legendary. How did everything proceed after that? You're building a name for yourself. Obviously,
Yeah. So
you're
again,
acquainted with people that are highly respectable in the city, and you come out with a song that's fire.
Yeah. But at the time, I'm building more with the people, the highly respected people as a person though. Like a lot of people that know me that's in the industry, they know me from just being a real one, like a genuine person. You know what I'm saying? That's what I really cared about the most. And sometimes I used to put using my resources on the back burner because the people that I had my resources to, I really genuinely cared about them and fucked with them. You know what I'm saying? So I was trying to like, just say like right now, like me and you right now, we kicking on the show. Feel what I'm saying? Let's say somehow we end up going to go fuck with some bitches at a bar or something. I'm like, damn, I fuck with this nigga Kid L. You feel what I'm saying? And it's deeper than this just podcast now. So it's like sometimes the last thing we'll talk about is the podcast. Like,
Yeah, that's facts. And that's the thing. When you build relationships in the entertainment industry, it becomes a thing of this, right? If you build a relationship in the entertainment industry and you actually become friends outside of the music and outside of the productions and stuff, it becomes a great thing, but you also don't want to hinder the line of, I'm using you for something, or I'm gaining profit off of you. I'm doing. But the thing is, though, I just watched Shark Tank and I learned this. Like they were doing an episode with the Gronkowski brothers or something. They're like these, championship football team players or whatever the fuck. There's nothing wrong with using your friends to help you build, as long as you're not doing it in a way that's like deceitful. Right? Like if my friend is really, really successful in the entertainment industry and I'm very serious about being in the entertainment industry, there's nothing wrong with me saying, hey, I want to work with you. Can we work together on something and build each other up? Or even if it doesn't help you, can you help me? There's nothing wrong with it, but people perceive it as there being something wrong because it's like, oh, you're using me. Let's say me and you are really close friends.
Right.
If I'm in the entertainment industry, which I am, one of my friends says he's working on his craft, he wants to be a part of it, I'm going to help him. And I'm not going to be like, damn, bro, you using me right now? Because I made a name for myself, you want to use me? No, if it's my friend, I'm not even thinking like that. So from your perspective, were you thinking like, I don't want to reach out to my friends because I don't want to think of them as a resource, or how are you looking at it?
I'm mostly thinking like this. It's like, it's a lot of us, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I understand that because I've been in a position in my whole life, not just in the industry, but as even with businesses and like just being somebody I've always been chasing money. So it's like, I be wanting to help everybody, but it'd be like, I also be wanting the people that's not expecting me to help them either. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like a thin line with there. You know what I'm saying? But even at the same time, help us. You can help your people. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's just me personally. I'd rather be able to make it to a situation where we helping each other out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I would go to the studio and just sit and rap on all Ant beats if I was above Ant beats or at least equal at the time of my buzz. You know what I'm saying? So that way now we helping each other out more to the point where that negativity can't do nothing but drive negativity if it's just me just feeding off of you. So I never wanted to be that guy. You feel me?
I respect that too, and I see both sides. I see the side of again, you know, your friend's successful in the entertainment industry.
Right.
You can't help him, but he can help you.
Right.
I don't want to come off as if I'm taking a handout from you. I
Yeah.
understand that perspective, but I also see the perspective of if that's really my friend and I'm successful, I'm gonna
Yeah.
help you.
For sure.
If you're my
For sure.
friend and you're trying to make it in the entertainment industry and
Yeah.
I actually see that you're trying, I'm going to help you, even if it doesn't benefit me whatsoever. A lot of people don't ask for that handout because just like the kind of
Yeah.
concept that you're saying right now,
Right.
you want to be at an equal level or you want to be able to help them at the same time. You
Yeah.
don't want to come off as if you're taking something from them. But trust me, if you're
Yeah.
my friend, bro, I want you to
Yeah.
ask me.
Yeah.
I would hate that. I would hate if you needed something from me and you didn't ask me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
I feel the same way too. I'm that way too, but at the
Yeah.
same time, it's like, man, bro, like niggas have been through a lot in the world, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes I just use them same like memories, like, man, I remember when this and this and this. So I remember how I felt when this happened. So I never want somebody to feel like that. You feel me? Because I done felt like that a lot. So it'd be like hard for me to even almost do something like that to somebody because I know how that feels. It's like dealing with, I don't want to say that. It's something else. You know?
No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Talk about the steps after that. You guys are you know, you're making money off your music. People are booking you. How did you graduate from that point?
Okay, so from that point, I went on. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try to like really get serious with the thing or whatever. But the problem was at that time, I wasn't sweet.
What do you mean?
Like I was sweet as hell on that verse. Like that verse was sweet as hell. You know what I'm saying? I was making some straight music, whatever. But it was like I wasn't. Okay, so I didn't sound like a Detroit rapper because, you know, I told you I lived part of my life down south or whatever. So I had like a little stir to it. But it was still gutter as hell because I was recording in my closet. Like I still didn't go to no professional studio. Like I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. And it took me a minute before I really, even when I first met Kano, he was the first nigga to put me in a real studio with Prevail. You know what I'm saying? And from there, after collectives, the first collectives, that shit was legendary. So being up there, I was able to learn so much about the rap game that I wasn't knowing. Like I didn't even think about the way it sounded back then. I just thought like if I just rapped some sweet words, it was sweet. Not thinking about like my voice or nothing like that.
You never awareness.
Exactly. I didn't have no awareness. That was the best way to put it, bro. Yeah.
But now, so when did you gain the awareness to know that your music wasn't ready yet? I mean, it sounds like you kind of knew somehow because
yeah, at the
didn't
time,
push.
at the time, it was like I just felt like I was like something missing. You know what I'm saying? And it was like another thing too. That's when I started getting back into the business part because I had got so far into the music that I became poor. Like really, like I wasn't even getting money to the point where it was like, hold on, like I'm a nigga with no paper right now, but I ain't even that sweet and rapper for real. You know what I'm saying? I got to get sweeter if I'm going to be poor. You know what I'm saying? Or I got to get a lot of money. You feel what I'm saying? So I got to the point where I took a lot of time where I was babysitting the music a little bit, but I was focusing more on trying to get some money. And that's when, like, you know, how I learned to the fact that where I want to be rich without doing crime. Because at that point, I was just feeling like when I was growing up, I was like looking up to the niggas that was getting money off of crime. So I'm like, you just got to be the biggest gangster and you got to have the best dope and you got to be fly as hell. That's just what it was about to me until I got to a certain age when I seen what that was about and I saw that shit ain't really how it is. You feel me? To the point where now, at this point right now, in my life right now, it's amazing because I'm balling without crime.
When you were feeling broke as a rapper, did you take a break from rapping and get back to the money?
Hell yeah. And hell no at the same time. Because it's like I had got, like, that's the thing. That's what they tell you. Like, bro, you either got to pick one, the rap game or the streets. I didn't understand what they were saying. I thought they were just saying, like, nigga, you got to be a square or be a rapper. I'm like, that's not adding up to me at first. But today I understand that they was basically saying, well, focus. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be out here focusing on watching your back and having real ops and, like, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, possibly going to jail and shit like that. And people might be telling on you and all kind of weird shit like that. You can't have your focus on that and making a hard ass 16 for this verse or making a hook or being artistic. Nah, bro.
Well,
and that's what I was dealing with.
Well, a lot of people come on here, you know, artists that talk about how that lifestyle helps them create that music. So you took a different route because you don't rap about beef and you don't rap about the stuff that
I used to be in that shit when I was younger, but like, you know what I'm saying, when I first started rapping, because I was just rapping words because they sounded good together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even putting more genuine thought behind what I was saying. I was just like, even to this day, I don't write no raps. I always freestyle my shit.
Yeah.
But it's like I get into a certain mental space before I make the song now. Versus back then, it was like, bitch, fuck a bitch, get money, kill a snitch. Like, it was just whatever. Like, if that shit sounded sweet, keep it, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like, you know, and I can't say I learned a lot from being with Said Ain't Tone too. Like, once I linked up with him, we've been friends for like 10, 12 years too. But like when we got in the studio together, he kind of showed me a better way of recording. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm just not just saying anything. Like, bro, like sit back and think about it. You know what I'm saying? Then record it.
What point do you feel like your music elevated to the point where you were proud of it?
When I was able to not have to think so hard about it. Like, when there was times when I was just like, damn, like, you know how you feel like you got writer's block and shit like that? You know what I'm saying? I went through a lot of times of just feeling like I was just forcing shit, like saying shit. But now it's just, I have a marriage with music now. Like, as soon as you put a beat on, it's like, I hear it one time and I'm married to that motherfucker if I like it.
How long do you think it took you year-wise to develop this comfortability with music?
You can't really put no time on it because, like you say, like a nigga like Lil Baby said, he started rapping yesterday and he blew up, you know what I'm saying, off the first shit or whatever. So it ain't really like that. It's really about...
for you, though. I mean, how long did it take you to get comfortable with music?
It's different. Like, I've been comfortable with music, like, really my whole life. But to be comfortable on a beat or any beat, I can say the last 2 or 3 years for real, where I can say, honestly, I felt comfortable. Where right now, if this was a studio, when you walked in there and you put a beat on, I'm going to genuinely go in that bitch and kill it within 10 minutes.
Right on.
You know what I'm saying?
How long do you think it took you to develop that?
I only been trying to develop that for the last 3 or 4 years, you know what I'm saying? But really, when I've been not writing, I've been rapping, like I say, bro, 10, 15 years.
Okay.
You feel me? But this whole time, I've always been trying to make it flow smooth. Like, instead of just sitting in my notepad, oh, no, that don't sound good, or no, because I feel like the easier they flow, the better it's going to flow to the fans.
You feel like it's like, if you compare it to basketball, it's kind of like you were going to the park and shooting around for 10 years, and then 3 years you actually were pulling up and doing 4 or 5 hour sessions to work on your handles, work on the shot, work on your footwork.
That's what it is right there. The year that you had the most time to focus on your craft, just how we just said, you got to pick the streets or you got to pick the rap game. What year was it when you really decided to pick the rap game? That's when you probably made the best material of your life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So your music elevates at that point. Talk about the songs that were coming out and what the reciprocation was like from the fan base.
So at that point, I went through a time where I didn't really have a fan base because I didn't understand the fact that like people's what they call that, like attention span is short. The more social media is getting bigger, the shorter your attention span. I'm thinking like, yeah, I was the man just yesterday, but not knowing like in 2 weeks, just like working out. You know what I'm saying? You could be working out a year strong. You start working out for a month or two, you gonna get small again, like from niggas like me. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like that where I had worked out, did summer jams and all this shit, flowing, had rotation on the single, on the radio, all that to me. Going now, I'm getting into this life where, I'm on the road now, or, you know what I'm saying, I'm out of town, or a nigga calling me come to the studio, I can't because I'm about to go do this. You feel me? It's got to the point where like, man, that rap shit, you feel me? I got to that nigga. And then it didn't help no better that my favorite rappers was saying that shit. Like, I don't like rappers. You feel what I'm saying? That was the biggest thing, to be a not rapping ass nigga. And so I started growing to be a not rapping ass nigga until I thought about like, hold on, I am a rapping ass nigga.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? I just,
I know what you mean, man. Like, even with podcasting, when people go like, oh, like somebody will be like, I'm the best podcaster in Detroit, I'm the voice of Detroit, and they'll be saying that stuff. I'm like, man, shut up, man. It makes me not even want to be a podcaster that you guys are talking about podcasting the way you're talking about podcasting. Like, I don't give a damn about being a podcaster, but then I looked at it, I'm like, bro, I am a podcaster. And at the end of the day, I have a podcast, I'm on it, and I talk on it, therefore I am. But I know what you're saying. It's like, you respect it, but at the same time, it's like, I'm me, and my vision is so much bigger than that it's just a subcategory of what I can bring to the table.
Yeah, for sure.
So you feel like you're bigger than just rap itself, like as far as what you can bring to the table.
Yes, bro. Because at the same time, and I feel like I gained that from taking the hard way too. You feel me? Like I ain't never had the situation where a nigga came to me like, yeah, I'm about to put 15,000 into getting this nigga swag or 20,000 in swag. Why? It's because they look at me. It's like Burger King investing into a McDonald's commercial. You feel what I'm saying? I've always been looked at as an independent nigga or the plug or just like that. You feel what I'm saying? The plug is not about to invest into the plug rap dreams.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like I've always had to get it on my own and myself. And the people that work with me, that's why I feel like I be blessed because I got people that work with me now. Like I say, like Ant Beats,
Yeah.
RJ Lamont, Hell of Us, Set Ain't Tone, Kano. My manager is Bird, you know what I'm saying, from Octane. Just, you know, I don't want to name drop nothing like that, but it's a lot of
people we work with.
Yeah, for sure.
Name dropping is more like when you talk about people that you just had met one time.
Yeah.
Like when somebody was like, the time I worked with Lil Baby. And then like, I'm like, oh, so tell me about the time you worked with Lil Baby. And then they're
Right.
like, one time Lil Baby pulled up to the same studio I was at.
Yeah,
and
nah,
I said what
I
up to
can't
him and
do
shit.
Told him to get his coffee.
Bro, people
Right.
come on the podcast, they tell me they met somebody. I'm like, so what was that like? Oh, we shook
Bro,
hands.
I know people that came back from Atlanta like, yeah, I saw Jeezy in the parking lot. Like, okay.
That's wild.
That was a lit ass party.
Talk about you're a ghostwriter, right? And that's crazy, right? Because a lot of people look at it as if you have a ghostwriter, they get upset. Like, oh,
Bro,
you have
people
a
don't
ghostwriter?
understand that it's a talent to rap somebody else's rap and make it sound better. Like when I heard like Drake versus Quentin Miller, I'm like, that Quentin, if Quentin Miller had picked that out, I'd have been like, that wouldn't have been a hit. But the Drake version is a fucking hit, bro. You can't knock that. You know what I'm saying? That's a talent. You know what I mean? So, and it's a talent to write that kind of shit too. You feel me? So sometimes that's why I felt like another thing. That's how I learned that from Said Ain't Tone too. He was like, bro, you really can be a dog ass writer. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where that swag came from.
Yeah, it's not like the guy writing the scripts in the movie says the lines, right? You got Robert
Yeah.
De Niro, give it to Denzel Washington. It's
Yeah.
gonna come out sweet, right? So you're doing that.
Exactly.
Is there profit involved in that? Can you make
Hell,
a
yeah,
living off of ghostwriting?
You can really make a better living off ghostwriting than you can off just being a rapper because in some situations, you might sign a deal to a record label. When you would get over there, they'll have all the songs already ready for you when you get there.
Man, what?
You feel what I'm saying? They just need to import you. Like, yeah, just say this. You know what I'm saying? No matter how sweet you is.
I know you wouldn't know the answer to this, but can you guess the percentage of people that have ghostwriters in the industry?
It's crazy because I want to say 80% of people in the industry have had a ghostwriter before. At least 80 or 85%. Even if they don't have a ghostwriter for all this shit, it's been times where a nigga done wrote you a song and you done reset it.
You think Eminem ever had a ghostwriter?
Ooh.
Because
I'm from Detroit, bro. It's hard for me to talk about Eminem.
What do you mean?
I'm just saying, bro. Like, I ain't trying to be one of them niggas that be on the shit like Detroit rapper says Eminem had a ghostwriter. Like, fucked me.
I was just talking to Casher Kwan about that. We were like talking about. He's basically saying like we basically agreed that we didn't know how much reach my podcast gets.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know either. Like when you look at my Instagram views, it's like crazy. Like how many people see our shit.
Bro.
So sometimes people will say shit and it's like, oh, I didn't think 100,000 people were gonna see that, dog. You know, and I'm sitting here thinking the same thing. Like,
Like,
oh, I
what?
didn't think that was gonna happen either. So
Why did you think about the possibilities though, bro?
Yeah,
Like,
but-
then you gotta think, bro. Like, you were actually a real character, a real life character, bro. Like to the point where when I just saw you, I'm like, this nigga's actually a real person. Like, no cap, bro.
when people see me in public, I was at this thing, bro. I forgot who the famous person was that was there. There was a famous ass person there, and then it was me.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Why'd I actually get starstruck by L, but I didn't get starstruck by Dog?" And I don't remember who the person was, but I was like, "Shit, what?
Yeah.
You really think about me like that? That's
Yeah,
crazy."
you know it's
isn't it?
crazy because you would meet your favorite celebrity in person, and be like, it don't even feel the same. But it's just like on
Yeah, no cap.
you like a walking show.
Talk about so you don't put beef in your rap. You're not trying to take a different lane into your rap, man. Talk about that perspective and how it sells, man.
Cause man, I just feel like somebody got to say something about it. Like all that, man. Like I'm just at this point, bro. I'm not trying to set us back even further. Like it's too much game out here. You know what I'm saying? It's too much women. Like the bitches in Detroit looking good as hell right now.
No cap.
You feel what I'm saying? So I feel like that should outweigh all that. You know what I'm saying? I done been through that too. You know what I'm saying? I ain't coming from a nigga that just, you know, on the sidewalk. You feel me?
Well, some rapper made a post. He was like, I want to rap about shit. I don't want to rap about violence and beef and drugs and women and all that. But he's like, that's what sells.
Oh, yeah, I rap about drugs and women for sure. But violence, like I just do that sometimes, just being funky, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not really into just beef rap like over and over and over because after a certain moment, it become programming. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even want to be a part of that beef program. I love all my niggas, man. Like, let's get this money. It's too much. It's enough money out here literally for everybody. Like, the people that tell you that it's not enough money out here for everybody, that's the enemy. You know what I mean?
Wow.
To even put you in that mind frame, you know?
Talk about, I seen that you had worked with Lil Duval.
Yeah, I was on a couple shows that he was booked on to at the same time, but I ain't really went on hands work with the nigga. He came in, he fucked with my music and shit like that though, yeah. But it was basically, we was just booked on the same shit.
Okay, that's cool though. I mean, he took off, man. I mean, he did his thing.
Yeah.
He definitely did his thing.
Yeah, he had a good, real good run of being funny, but then he had a good run of not being funny to me. It was crazy. Yeah, I could talk shit about Duval, like, but I ain't talking shit about Eminem, dog.
No, I feel you on that. Now you got a whole tape coming out, right?
Yeah.
Talk about this tape, man.
So basically, what the tape is like I got an important tape that's coming out first quarter of next year, whatever. But I'm about to be dropping like song after song before this tape come out. So like, you know what I mean. The main tape that I got coming out is called They Owe Me This.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But before that come out, I'm going to just be dropping new songs with my new sound so people can get more familiar with who Big Swag is for real. You know what I'm saying? Even why I'm even on this podcast right now is because it's like, I feel like I done a lot behind the scenes. You feel what I'm saying? And now I'm jumping in front of the scenes. I feel like it's time for me to maybe give people a little history on the type of nigga Big Swag is for real. You feel me? Because, you know, it's so easy to be just misled. Like, oh yeah, I'm a nigga with dreads, buffs, and a chain, but I'm also a nigga with a mind. You feel me? And it's a lot on it that I feel like I need to share with the world.
You're my favorite type of person when it comes to artistry because you speak on an intellectual level. You have a great awareness about yourself. You have a good message you're trying to put out there. You're an entrepreneur. You're doing all the right things to basically build a more meaningful and more impactful legacy than a lot of people who will talk just about how hard they are, like how gangster they are, or like, you know, how, you know, what they've done and behind the scenes in the underground and stuff like that. But it's good to have a refreshing view of somebody who speaks like the way you speak and motivational purposes coming back on the scene. Cause I personally, I mean, I like Detroit rap. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I do listen to it all the time, but sometimes I'm like, damn, bro, can we chill out for a second with how much you want to kill somebody? Like, just for a couple seconds, bro. A couple tracks, please. Couple tracks.
Yeah. It's like that dead nigga ain't doing nothing to nobody, bro. You know what I'm saying? Y'all still talk about it. Like, it's just crazy. Like,
you know, I just could never get into every single thing is about the ops. Like, every single thing is about the ops.
Bro. Like, I just had a line. I said some shit like, let my ops beef, watch them kill each other. While I'm with two freaks, watch them kiss each other.
Facts.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to get niggas out that vibe, bro. Like, y'all niggas is really canceling yourself out by doing that. You know what I mean? Like, nobody wins. Nobody wins at that point.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man.
You know
What other projects do you have coming out people can look forward to?
Well, I ain't gonna lie, right now, I got so many songs, bro. So, like, my main thing right now is just sorting these bitches out. And I've been working with Benji, too, over at 3525. He's co-producing, like, my whole next album. And that nigga is dope as fuck, bro. Like, he look like a computer genius the way he recording, you know what I'm saying? Because it's only certain people you can record with, too, when you freestyle rap, because they got to be able to keep you going, you know what I'm saying? Like, he been able to like, all right, go. I rap. I be like, oh, wait. Before you know it, when I'm done, he been and took the first shit I said, then looped it with some other shit. Now it's a sweet-ass hook. And then he done took this part out and made this my 12-bar verse. Then he done made this part my second verse and the song done. It's like, imagine, like, this. If I had this coming up when I was first going, I'd have been on. So that's how I know now I'm about to be where I need to be.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that, man. I'm looking forward to hearing how that comes out. Sounds like an orchestrator, something like that, to that degree. What's been the biggest milestone for you in your career? What's something that stands out to you the most of everything that's come along your way so far?
Really just still being on top of my shit. You know what I'm saying? Being able to still be resourceful, have multiple streams of income, getting paid off what I love to do, which is my music. Like, even checking that TuneCore, you know what I'm saying, every other week. You know what I mean? That to me, it don't matter if it say, one time it said $1,200. I was like, hell yeah, let's get this money, nigga. You feel what I'm saying? But another nigga like Rio or something might see 100,000 in that motherfucker. But to me, that 1,200 is great. You know what I'm saying? Or, you feel me? Keeping my business up to flow and still being able to be a boss ass rap nigga and still boss ass nigga in the world.
Oh,
You
fact.
feel me? Versus not having to be a nigga that's just talking about it, like, oh yeah, nigga, like, yeah, I'm one of them.
That's the thing. I always tell people, man, there's only like a super small percentage of people that are actually making money off the entertainment industry.
Mhm.
Super, super small percentage. You might be seeing somebody get 100,000 views, but they are not making any money doing it.
Making
So
no paper.
if you're seeing any type of money from your music or whatever type of
Yeah.
content you create, I have massive respect for you because it's
Yeah.
super, super hard out here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my friend said one time, he's like, 100% is just enough to get into the door
Yeah,
to make money. You still, if you want to make tons of money, you got to get that 115 to 200%
yeah,
effort to actually see any money. So
Yeah.
if you're seeing any money in the entertainment industry, bless you, bro, because a lot of people are losing money doing this.
yeah, they are. But you know the thing too that I figured out, because I figured out that not focusing on your bag in the entertainment industry and thinking that you about to just keep focusing out here getting the money, and as long as you keep putting it in there, you just drowning money away. You have to put that money in there and sit and focus on that money. You know what I mean? Because that's what really made it harder for me, is because I'm going crazy out here getting this money in the world, but I'm dumping this money over here thinking the money gonna work by itself. You feel me? And the first advice that I got for anybody that's getting money or doing anything, to not have to get a job, is to give your money a job.
Whew.
You know what I mean? Like, your money got to work for you. Like, when that 1,000, what you made today, 1,000? If you got 100 of them bitches, I got 100 bitches I got to talk to. All y'all, what's this 1,000 did? Okay, you made another 1,800. What's just this 1,000 made 15,000. You feel what I'm saying? This is my favorite 1,000 right here.
Oh, that's so fire. That's actually like some advice I needed right now in my own life. Shit.
Yeah.
Listen, man, Big Swag, it was fucking an honor to have you on here, man. I look forward to see
Sure.
what you got coming up in the future, man. This was really an awesome talk. I actually learned a lot from everything we talked, especially on the business end, which is most important to me right now. But I really look forward to seeing what you produce out here and what you
For
get
sure,
going.
man. And I'll be back.
Oh yeah, for sure. Look forward to the tape drop. When's the tape dropping?
We're just gonna say first quarter next year, but I got videos that's about to be dropping like next week, week after week after week, you know what I'm saying, for different little singles and shit. But the full tape, look at that shit like, let's say February. You know, I don't know when it's dropping right now, but it's gonna be after that.
For sure. Appreciate you for being a part of this. We're at Parallel Sound Studio, High Low Visuals and Shootings Productions. We're out. Peace.
Yeah.
That was fucking fire. That was fucking fire.
Yeah.
Let's take a picture real quick, bro.
Yeah, for sure.